Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Wednesday. We're live here on Spreaker. Not Spreaker. The show is on Spreaker, but we're on Discord. It's just me tonight. Just Yari. Trez is off for the night. Gave her the night off. Hopefully she'll be back next week, but it's just me. So, how's everybody's night doing? Or how's everybody's night going so far? Mine is pretty relax and chill, I guess. Wednesdays I'm always off, so we woke up, took a shower, and then just watched something on TV. I just remember just watching something and eating and then falling asleep. And I think I fell asleep for like maybe 2.5 hours. It was a good nap. It was probably what I needed, because now I'm wide awake and full of energy. Oh my god, yes, I fucking get it. Fucking Windows. Windows will not stop sending me these notifications that there's viruses on my computer. It's like... And I keep clicking on it for it to fucking show me so I can take care of it, but it won't show me. What's up, Sasha? Hold on. Alright, but yeah, that's, Windows. What are you going to do about it? Alright, so it's pretty much going to be like a relatively short show tonight. There's really not much going on. If you're going to ask me, come back to the soups. What the fuck, Windows? Go away. I'm not... Okay. I am in the soup server. So, yeah, Windows is never gonna not email me, notify me every 5 minutes, and tell me that I have fucking viruses on my computer. And it doesn't help that it won't even let me open the damn page. Most of the people are negative in there. I'm looking for fun and positive. What? How are we negative? I don't get it. Anyways. Not even gonna bother with that. So... Anyways, I guess... as far as like wrestling goes, the big news that went on today... is they announced AEW will premiere October the 2nd on TNT. I have it right here on comicbook.com. AEW officially confirmed on Wednesday that their weekly live wrestling show will premiere on October the 2nd on the TNT network. The weekly episodes will air from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time, so 7 over here, or just 7 Central Time if you live in a Central Time time zone. And the first show will take place at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. And a press release from Warner Media. Warner Media announced today that the new professional wrestling league, All Elite Wrestling, will begin airing its 2-hour weekly wrestling matches on TNT. We just said that. And they're going to be at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. So you got that. You got that. I keep fucking up words. You got that to look forward to tonight. Or you got that to look forward to when that happens. What I found kind of peculiar was the the fact that their first show is going to be in Washington, D.C., instead of, say, like, I don't know, like Tampa Bay or Florida, which is, I thought that's where their headquarters are from, because the owner of AEW is the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the owners of AEW own the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I just assumed the first show would be in Florida and not Washington. That's just very random that Washington would be your first show. And it's going to be weekly. It's not going to be like an Impact Wrestling where every show is in Florida. So, I guess the difference between AEW and Impact is that AEW actually has money. So they have the money to be able to travel around and, have different shows in different cities. So this should be interesting. I'll definitely watch it when it comes out. I might even maybe do a review of it. I mean, it's on a Wednesday, and the show's on Wednesday. So that's perfect timing. Am I excited? Yeah, I'm excited because it's another wrestling company. It's a brand new wrestling company. We haven't had, let's just talk about TNT. TNT hasn't had a wrestling company since WCW back in 2001. Whenever they closed their doors when, Vince bought them out. So it's definitely interesting to see another, big company in America not just start and not just get its start and not just, be on primetime wrestling, for that matter. It's interesting to watch. Are they going to be competition? Maybe yes and no. Then again, I think everything is competition for WWE. WWE, at the end of the day, they're always going to be the place to go in America. As far as like American wrestling, they're synonymous with Coke. With Coke, well, not cocaine, maybe cocaine. I don't know. Maybe from like the 80s or the 90s. But as far as like American pastimes, they're synonymous with Coca-Cola. They're synonymous with McDonald's. When you think of wrestling, you think of WWE. Or there's some people that don't even call it WWE. They still call it WWF. So AEW, I would like to see it do well. I want to see all wrestling do well. Because at the end of the day, you need a second option, because needless to say, WWE it's not always great. It's fun. I mean, let me retract my statements. WWE isn't always great. It hasn't been very great lately. Because we can't keep expecting the Attitude Era to happen. I mean, the Attitude Era was the Attitude Era because that point in time was a very different time in the world when everybody just wanted something different. They wanted something a little bit edgier, not just in wrestling, but in pop culture and life as well. They wanted something that was outside of the norm. Nowadays, I highly think that the Benoit thing, what happened to Benoit, has a big part to play in how the WWE changed its product, changed how it looked, because you had a lot of parents that they're at the end of the day, the parents are the one that are paying for their kids to go to these shows, to wear the merchandise, to buy the toys, buy the belts. At the end of the day, the parents, are in charge of, what their kids watch. It's not like back in the day where, kids can just sneak out in the middle of the night and go to the living room and, watch wrestling with the sound off and make sure nobody hears them. Nowadays, you can, control what your kid watches. That's what, TiVo's for, that's what, the parental lock is for on, like a TV box or whatever, or even a Fire Stick. Back then, you literally had to stay up and make sure your kid went to sleep. That was the parental lock. the whole Benoit thing, parents saw that and went, I don't want my kid watching that. I don't want my kid trying to emulate that. Yada, yada, yada. So it's difficult to be as edgy as you could back then in the 90s. You can still be edgy. Just find a way to do it where it just doesn't feel like it's being forced. Like, don't just have, Roman Reigns come out there and be like, yeah, you're a bitch. Hold for ooze. Ooh! Like, if that's your idea of edgy, where you have to swear in every sentence, then it's not going to work. Someone said it's kind of like Marvel movies where the kids like them, but the adults understand them more. Like, make it PG-13, but just, I don't know, make it seem like have these people actually have conversations that we have in everyday life. Like, if you're gonna cuss in a way that makes sense. Like, have, Kevin Owens come out there and be like, Shane McMahon, get the hell out of here so I can beat your ass. Don't, like, that makes sense. Like, that's something that would actually happen in real life. That's a conversation. That's something someone would say when they get really pissed off. It's kind of like the feud with Ronda and Becky. It made sense because supposedly they had real heat going on in the backstage. And what made it interesting was Ronda, because Ronda could talk shit. She was a legit shit talker. Becky was good at talking. The difference being that Ronda could legit beat her ass, but those two, their charisma and their personalities meshed, well together because they were both, skilled in, shit talking. And it made it interesting because when you really don't like somebody, like when you're pissed off to the point where you feel like you want to rip someone's head off, you start to flub up your words. Because I remember a lot of people were criticizing Ronda for, stuttering, through her promos a lot, which is just like, have you ever been that mad or that pissed off or that, fired up that you wanted to just, like, you weren't even thinking straight? You weren't even thinking about the right words to say. You were just pissed off. You just wanted to say and do something that you knew was going to hurt that person the worst. So naturally, you're going to flub up your words. You're not going to say everything perfectly with correct grammar. No, you're going to flub up your words every now and then. So, as far as where they're going, it, slowly, especially Raw, the product looks a lot different than it used to be, especially now that you got Paul Heyman, in charge of the show. Paul Heyman knows how to book a wrestling show, because Paul Heyman's always been a booker. Eric Bischoff is more of a TV guy. He knows how to book a TV show, and that's good. I forget who said it. Joey. I think it was Joe Numbers. He said Eric Bischoff's the kind of guy that you need, because he's the kind of guy that can look in someone and say, "We don't need you." It's like, "Yeah, you suck. We don't need you. Get off our show." Like, he's the kind of guy that you need. He's a dick. He's the type of dick that you need on your show. Paul Heyman is the kind of guy that can see somebody and go, "What can I do with you?" He can see somebody's flaws and go, "How can I make this your strength?" I mean, you look at Extreme Rules for I don't know, like maybe a minute, Seth Rollins actually looked like a person. Like when Baron Corbin, gave Becky the end of days, Seth Rollins actually looked like a person. He beat the shit out of Baron and then pinned him, and then like the very next night on Raw, it's like nothing ever happened. It's like, are you forgetting this guy actually, like, hurt your girlfriend purposely? And then said, "What are you going to do about it, you piece of shit?" It's like, seriously? Continuity, come on. But, going back to AEW, again, I'm not the biggest AEW fan, and I don't shit on it. I have to give things a fair chance. at the end of the day, it's another wrestling company. As a wrestling fan, I'm excited to see it. The only thing I just haven't been really liking about it is this whole... How do I put it? It's like, you can insult WWE all day long, and no one's going to say anything about it. You make one little critique about AEW, and it's like the floodgates open. You have all these fanboys that come out of the woodwork and just start attacking you. Like, even if you just say, yeah, I wasn't really too big on that Cody versus Dustin match. What? You're just a WWE cocksucker. You're a shill. Like, oh my god. Like, luckily I haven't really had to deal with too much, I guess, too many trolls when it comes to that. Again, I like to give people a fair chance. From what I've seen from AEW, I mean, it's not terrible, but then again, I don't know, I guess it's because I've been watching WWE too long that when I watch something else, like, indie wrestling or, New Japan, I'm kind of wary about it because I'm just so used to one thing my whole life that when I watch something else that's the same thing but a lot different, I'm like, It's like, they're building up to All Out where, like, one of their biggest matches is Cody Rhodes versus Shawn Spears, who used to be Ty Dillinger. And it's just like, you really want me to pay $50 to watch that? I know I think the main event. What's the main event going to be? I think the main event is Jericho versus Page, which that should be good. I've only seen Adam Page wrestle a handful of times, and he is a guy that should be on WWE's television. He has a look. He's a big guy. He can work. Talking isn't one of his strong suits. But then again, like, it looks like they're not trying to make that a strong suit. So that's good. Because you do not want to get in a talking contest with Jericho. Jericho will destroy you. And then you got Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega, which should be a good match. Let's go back to Moxley for a bit. Why is he spending so much time shitting on WWE? I get it. He had he was on the Jericho podcast, like 2 months ago, and was it last month or 2 months ago? It feels like it happened a long time ago. And then he said what he said, which is okay. It was a good show, and then he continued to talk about it, and then he continued to talk about it. And to be fair, I don't know if this is him like just randomly going out of his way to talk about it, or if it's the interviewer that's saying, hey, what do you think WWE has to say about you? It's like, but to the same token, it's like, if that's the case, a lot of these interviewers just need to start asking more AEW questions. Or if it's not the case, Moxley needs to get his head out of the past, WWE, and just focus more on the current. Focus more on his current career. He's the U.S. champion for NJPW. He's about to headline the sequel to their biggest show of last year. He needs to focus on his current career. Seth Rollins is another guy that is starting to put his foot in his mouth a lot, talking about, and I have the quote right here because Ruben Prime, shout out to Ruben, was talking about it. Let me pull it up real quick. Alright, so he's basically saying, Rollins is taking shots at AEW and Moxley on how AEW and Moxley are taking food off of people's table. That's laughable. WWE is giving money away so people don't go to AEW. Also, he's talked about his bank out before, which, why do you need to talk about how much money you're making? Like that rubs people the wrong way. I basically I laughed at the whole, taking money off, or taking food off people's table, where I'm just like, isn't WWE just like buying everybody from the indies? And, he responded, it's a reason why the NXT shows are called takeovers. That's the goal. And I don't know. I understand what Seth is doing. Seth wants to be the cheerleader for the WWE. Okay, good. Defend your company. That's good. You're not just going to shit on your company. The whole thing with him and Moxley, I don't know if that's a work, because I don't see Moxley responding to it. Because I was under the assumption of, maybe Seth and Moxley talked about this before. He said it. But now I'm getting the feeling that, are Moxley and Seth really that close anymore? Or were they ever really that close in the first place? Because you don't hear Roman say anything. Roman, I think, said, a while back, AEW is in competition. Which he should say that. If, in the WWE, the wrestlers should say, we don't think of them as competition yet. And I don't even think of them as competition. I know I may sound like a hypocrite because I said something different earlier, but until they have their first show, and they've had pay-per-view events, but they haven't had a show yet. Like, their weekly show hasn't begun. Because I'm pretty sure the first show, might have 2.5, 3 million viewers at best, just because of all the hype. But then you have to have more shows after that. You have to keep topping yourself. So I'm pretty sure they'll do fine. I want them to do fine. But what are you going to do after that first show? You know what I mean? Are people really going to want to be that invested in seeing Kenny Omega as a top guy on television? Or Adam Page? They're going to want to tune in when they see Chris Jericho, because they've seen Chris Jericho on WWE TV. Or they're going to see Moxley and go, hey, it's the guy from The Shield. Or they're going to see Cody and go, is that Stardust? Having ex-WWE guys on your show is certainly going to create some buzz and bring people in, but is that going to be enough to keep them on? The problem with wrestling pretty much nowadays is just its star power. There's no stars anymore. It's not like the 90s where you had two massive stars on the same show, Austin and Rock, and then you had Undertaker, you had Triple H, you had Shawn Michaels, you had Bret Hart. Well, this is before the Attitude really got bigger. Then you had other, you had tag teams around you, like the New Age Outlaws, or the Hardys, or the Dudleys. And then you had mid-card acts like the Job Squad. Al Snow, Hardcore Holly, Steve Blackman, I said Al Snow already, right? Today, I've always said to a lot of people who are more casual wrestling fans, or just people who used to watch it and they don't really watch anymore, we live in an era of guys that are very, very in shape and talented and could have a really good match out there. And could have, a 5-star, wrestling match. Whereas you put a microphone in front of them, it's a fucking disaster waiting to happen. You know what I mean? If Seth Rollins had maybe 50% of Stone Cold's charisma, he would be a much bigger star. If Roman Reigns had a little bit of The Rock's charisma, he would be a bigger star. Talent can only bring in so many people. It's people who are able to talk people into the building. The Rock was able to talk people into the building. Stone Cold was able to talk people into the building. Undertaker to a degree. Triple H was a big star. He was, his talking, his promos, they were up and down. I mean, I'm a Triple H defender, but at the same time, I can acknowledge when he wasn't always, the biggest thing, the most important thing on the show, especially his reign of terror from 2002 to 2005 on Raw. But Triple H was a star, nonetheless. Seth Rollins, great wrestler. Him talking just doesn't do anything. Roman Reigns, it's painfully obvious, and I hate to kick a guy when he's down because he's been through a lot and he just got back, but he isn't the same. He looks like he's not the same. He looks a lot skinnier. His matches aren't as good as they used to be. He really should have just been out for a whole year. Like, WWE really should have just given him a year off. to focus on his mind and his body, and also get back into wrestling shape. They rushed him way too fucking fast. Because again, WWE can't help themselves. Finn Balor, again, I like him. It just seems like they don't know what to do with him. It seems like anytime they give him something, they have to pull it back. It's like, all right, Finn Balor, we appreciate you going out there and killing yourself against Brock. We're going to give you Bobby Lashley as an opponent. It's like, ugh. We're going to give you the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, as an opponent. It's like, ugh. And, AJ, I love AJ. AJ's my favorite. I'm biased towards AJ. I'm saying Ace or whatever. He's a good talker. Yeah, he's a pretty good talker. The club is interesting, but again, how are they, are people going to be really interested in that? It'd be a lot more interesting if they added more people. With Eric Bischoff in charge of SmackDown, he has a history of factions. So it'd be interesting if he wanted to make that a big part of the show. I think Brock is maybe the only star in the company because, at the end of the day, Brock's a star. He looks like a star. He looks like a legit killer. And I think he's, I don't know. To me, he's just the only guy that they've ever really put a lot of time and effort in to make a star and not try to fuck up. Because I don't think you can fuck up Brock Lesnar. The only way you can fuck up Brock Lesnar is put a mic in front of him. That's why you have Paul Heyman for him. Braun, they tried to make him a star, but again, they tried to make him do talkie-talkie and it just doesn't work. Braun is not a very good talker. Braun just needs to be the type of guy who just beats the shit out of people and leaves. And I think they're trying to make him a star again, but I don't know. AEW, again, a lot of very good talent. Kenny Omega, I'm not crazy about, but I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that he's very talented in the ring. Jericho has proven himself. He's, the vet. They need a vet on the show. He's the only guy that can actually talk. Never been a fan of Cody. Not even when he was with Legacy. Young Bucks I'm not a fan of. What is it, the Lucha Dragons or Lucha Brothers? I like Pentagon. I like what I see from him. Again, I said about Adam Page, I like him. If they're smart, then they put the title on him at All Out. Other than that, and then Moxley. I like Moxley. Other than that, again, there's just really no stars in the business anymore. I don't know if it's just because, and I had a theory about it, which is I think Vince is scared to make stars, and here's why. Because you look at Rock, you look at Stone Cold, you look at Cena, all three of them, what they have in common, and Batista, all four of them, they now have careers to where they don't need to rely on WWE anymore. And I think that scares Vince because Vince likes to micromanage everything. Vince, at the end of the day, wants to feel like he has control over everyone. He wants to be able to control his stars. Now, Cena is, a star in Hollywood. The Rock is, without a doubt, the biggest, the biggest wrestling star to ever make it out of Hollywood. Or to ever make it out of the wrestling business and go to Hollywood. Stone Cold has his own show. He has his podcast. He seems like he's doing okay. He seems like he's happy doing what he's doing. And then Batista, Batista got lucky. And I'm not saying that as a detriment to him. I'm just pointing out the fact he got lucky with Guardians of the Galaxy. That literally fell into his lap, and he was able to make something out of it. And now he has a career of it. He just had that movie come out called, Stuber? I haven't seen it. I haven't really heard about anyone that watched it, so I can't really judge it. All four of those guys have careers where they don't need WWE to fall back on. They don't need, Vince McMahon to give them those big checks. The Rock, I'm pretty sure has enough money to buy the WWE. Maybe. again, I think Vince is scared to make stars because I think he thinks in his head, if I make these guys big enough stars, if I give them enough leeway, if I give them enough creative control, they're gonna want to pursue other things outside of the company. Because the story according to Triple H was that Vince wanted to make Triple H and The Rock, movie stars. And, The Rock was okay with it, but then, Triple H, in his head was thinking, so you're saying I can't wrestle anymore? Because when you remember it, Triple H was born and bred to wrestle. He wanted to wrestle. He didn't want to do anything else. The Rock didn't want to wrestle. The Rock was a football player. And then when he tore his ACL and couldn't play football anymore, he decided to try wrestling. So it's different with that. John Cena was always a wrestling fan, but he did bodybuilding. And then he wrestled. Batista, wrestling fan, did bodybuilding, and then he wrestled. I'm trying to think of who else. Austin was always a fan of the business, but then he had that neck injury against Owen, which, lingered on into his career. And, went on to do something different, again, to where he didn't need the wrestling business. Guys like that, guys like that, you can tell where their career is headed, where their mindset is heading, where they're thinking, okay, I've got a lot going for me than just, slamming my body through a mat. How's about I try something where I'm not taking too many risks or too many bumps, but I'm getting paid more? So I think that terrorizes Vince to where, if I really let Roman Reigns be Roman Reigns, or if I really let Roman Reigns go out there and act like Joe Anoa'i, then he's going to think that he's bigger than this business, that he doesn't need me to fall back on. So I think that's really it. As far as AEW goes, they're obviously going for a different style. They said that they don't need WWE guys to fall back on, which, yeah, good luck with that. But which is kind of weird because it's nothing but WWE guys. But anyways, good luck to AEW. Much love to them. Again, I'm gonna watch the show. I'm gonna watch the show when it comes out, which is October 2nd, Wednesday, which I believe is the same week that Smackdown moves to Fox. So that would be October 1st. Or wait, no, not October 1st, because they're gonna be on a Friday. So it would be 2, 4, 5. October the 5th. There you go. Wait. 2, 3, 4. October the 4th on Friday on Fox. So there you go. And then you have, Raw, as usual, every Monday. So it should be an interesting week of wrestling. And then, NXT every Wednesdays. So aren't they they're moving NXT to Fox Sports supposedly that week, right? Or I don't know if it'll be the week after. Yeah, I'm going to need to get cable. We haven't had cable for a while because of just pretty much money. And we have all the streaming sites for it, so I'm going to definitely need to get cable right around that time. So we're done with that topic. The Raw Reunion is the highest episode since the 2018 Superstar Shakeup. WB's Raw Reunion Monday Night pinned down 3.093 million total viewers, an increase of 26% from last week's regular All Raw episode. I'm reading this on the Wrap. In terms of both total viewers and the key 18 to 49 demographic, 1.463 million viewers, plus 42% versus the prior week. Last night's Raw was actually the highest rated episode since the April 16, 2018 Superstar Shakeup. Yes, that means it did even better than the Raw after WrestleMania 35, which is a big performer annually and marks the start of the World Wrestling Entertainment's new season. Monday's episode was 5% higher among adults 18 to 49 than the April 8th, 2019 Fallout show, and it did 6% better overall. And the Raw Reunion did not keep pace with January 22nd, 2018's Raw 25 episode, which celebrated the 25th anniversary of WWE's flagship series on USA Network. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Did not get a chance to watch the show live. Again, I don't have cable. I have Hulu, which it comes out the very next day. I basically just watched clips. I did watch the beginning of the show though, when John Cena came out. The Usos came out who apparently have a new catchphrase, "Ooh, ooh," which I don't get what the point of that is. They come out and just tell John Cena, we want to hear you rap, and then John Cena brings out the Dr. Thugonomics voice. Proceeds to do a rap on the Usos, tells them, you look like your mugshot, which I thought was interesting, which the Usos didn't seem to really have a problem with that. Or just one of the Usos. And then that's when the Revival come out with Devon Dudley, and that's about it. I know I said I didn't have cable. I have like a streaming site that I'll watch live TV on, and that's what I watched, but I was on break at work. So I was only able to catch maybe a little bit of it. And again, I didn't watch the whole show. I know there was 7 title changes for the 24/7 title, which that's become, shockingly enough, that's become the best part of the show. Because you have a guy in Drake Maverick he makes it work. You have a guy who just looks so ridiculous, and you give him something that is even more ridiculous, and he makes it work because he's naturally funny. And then you have R-Truth. I love R-Truth. R-Truth just seems like he can make anything work. Again, a guy who's naturally funny, naturally charismatic, who's naturally charismatic, and can also work. He's a really good worker. You're forgetting the first ever black, NWA champion. So they're able to make that work. Kelly Kelly became the first ever female wrestler to win the 24/7 title. She pinned Gerald Briscoe. And then you had Candice Michelle. She won it. Medusa won it. And she was about to drop it in the trash. That's when the $1 Million Man, bought it from her. And again, I didn't watch the show, so I forgot who won it afterwards. So that's fun. It's just crazy. When that title was debuted, everyone shit on it. Like, literally everyone shit on it. And then slowly it's become the better part of the show. What happened later on? RVD came back, which that was interesting. Did not see that coming at all. RVD is still MDM1, then Drake, then Truth. Okay, thank you, Sasha. So then, RVD came back. There was a match between Sami Zayn and Rey Mysterio. And then the Hurricane... The Hurricane, RVD, and then somebody else came out. All 3 of those guys. Which it was shocking when RVD came out. Because, he's still within Impact Wrestling. And then, supposedly the report, Slaughter and Kurt. Okay, thank you, Sasha. Sasha, you're going to have to, refresh my memory with a lot of this stuff, because, again, I didn't get a chance to watch the show. So, RVD came out, and then the supposedly, the talk is that, WWE had to get handwritten permission from Impact Wrestling to let RVD, come out, for one night to Raw. Which, again, that's cool. RVD's always been one of my favorites. I would personally like to see him back on the show. Maybe not on the main show. It'd be interesting is if RVD came to NXT. Have RVD in a match, in a program against Adam Cole. Or RVD against Johnny Gargano. Or RVD against Matt Riddle. Put Matt Riddle and RVD in a tag team. The High Flyers. Or Team 420. That'd be interesting. Again, being in NXT isn't exactly a demotion. It seems more like a promotion being in NXT. The demotion is going to the main roster. So, the end of the night concluded with pretty much everyone coming out. You had D-Generation X, and you had Triple H, you had Shawn Michaels, you had X-Pac, and then you had the NWO guys like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall standing in the ring with the OC, the original club. And, Seth Rollins is standing in the ring with these guys. Literally everyone comes out. Hulk Hogan comes out. Does this whole, brother. And then Stone Cold comes out naturally, getting the biggest pop of the night. which, again, not shocking. He comes out to promote his show and shares a beer with everyone in the ring. Go to Smackdown, which I did kind of watch. I was kind of watching it in spurts because I watched the beginning of the show and then I fell asleep. It was a long day at work, so I was tired. So, the show begins with Shane coming out to the ring, which... I'll say this about Shane. Shane, it seems like he's getting natural heel heat. But at the same time, it seems like it's more like go-away heat. Because I like Shane, but Shane is just... He's slowly becoming maybe one of the... I think the member of the McMahon family, because we haven't seen Stephanie in a while. Stephanie's kept herself off of TV, but hey, that train's never late. She'll be back soon enough. She'll find a way to make a program about her. Triple H, he was on Raw, but before that, he wasn't even on the show too much. He had his match with Batista, and then he had that Saudi Arabian show program with Orton, and again, you haven't seen much from him. Vince hardly ever shows up. He only shows up when he needs to. And we can just discredit Linda because she's not really a part of the company anymore. Shane is the only one that's actively on TV, and he's becoming maybe the most hated member of the McMahon family. My whole thing, I think I maybe asked Trez this. I don't think it's his deal. I don't think he's purposely lobbying, to be a top guy on television. It's the company. Because, Shane, comes from that older generation, that Attitude Era generation. So the people are going to see Shane and go, hey, it's Shane. Shane's done some crazy shit. Shane used to jump off of the Titantron. Shane used to do A, B, C, and D. So naturally, people are going to see Shane and go, oh, hey, he's still wrestling. Oh, hey, he's still part of the show. But I think it's time for Shane to just go to the back and, work his role, whatever it is. I don't know if he's doing creative or he's just a producer. I really think he should just go to the back. Supposedly, the talk is that after SummerSlam, they're going to they're in the process of slowly phasing him out, which is good. Because there's so many other guys that can be in that spot. It's like CM Punk said in his Cole Cabana podcast. How do you expect these guys to know what a main event at WrestleMania feels like if you don't give them a chance? You need to put these guys in these spots so they can know how to get better. You can't just assume they're not going to do better after just maybe 1 week. You need to give them a chance to go out there and prove themselves. And now you have Shane, sucking up all the TV time. So, hopefully after SummerSlam is when we slowly see Shane, phase out. During his whole spat with Kevin Owens, they announced sending Kevin Owens at SummerSlam, and if Kevin Owens, loses, he has to quit. I was hoping for Kevin Owens to be like, oh yeah, let's up the ante. If you lose, you quit too, which I can see maybe why they didn't say that, because they knew that the fans would be like, we know he still works for the fucking company. So, I don't know, but Shane needs to not be on TV as much. Not that he's not in good shape. He can go out there and work, but he's been way too overexposed. He needs a break. He needs time off. They need his mind more rather than his body. Let's just go with that. So, after that promo, this is when I kind of fell. This is when I started falling asleep. It was Nakamura versus Apollo Crews, which Nakamura won. Why? I don't know. They need to get rid of Nakamura's get-up. He looks like a gay figure skater. Not that there's anything wrong with gay figure skaters, but not on Nakamura. Nakamura's whole gimmick was that he was supposed to be this kind of cool 80s rock star, but he just looks weird. Just take that whole top get-up off of him and just have him look like a regular wrestler, I guess. I mean, at least he's not kicking people in the nuts anymore, so that's good. He's just being a heel. He's just being a heel that just wins and doesn't, kick people in the nuts. Because he beat Finn by just, being clever and kicking him in the back of the head. So that's good. They signed him back because, the rumor was that he was going to leave or they didn't want to sign him back, but they signed him back. So hopefully him being signed back is like an incentive for maybe him to work for, I wouldn't say work better, but work better than how he's been working. Because the whole thing about Nakamura is that ever since he's been on the main roster, he's been phoning it in. And it seems like he's not really phoning it in as much anymore. It seems like he's getting back to where he used to be in NXT. So that's good. So yeah, I didn't see the... I didn't really see too much of the show after that. But I watched clips online. The whole Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler exchange, I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know if that's going to lead to a program, which I do and I don't, because I like Shawn Michaels. Again, I'm biased, because Shawn Michaels from San Antonio. I'm a San Antonio guy. So I don't know if that's going to lead to a Shawn versus Dolph match. I guess. Or if that's going to lead to, Dolph versus Miz and have Shawn in the corner, which wouldn't really make any sense. Because if they're going to tease Shawn versus Dolph, you might as well just have Shawn versus Dolph. Are they going to shoehorn it in for SummerSlam? I don't know. Shawn's last match, which is at that Saudi Arabia pay-per-view last year, that left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. It's like you're Shawn Michaels. You pretty much promised everybody you weren't going to show up, and then you decided to take this blood money and then have a match at Saudi Arabia. So, if you're Shawn Michaels, you're going to come back for bigger matches. You're going to come back for a match against Daniel Bryan or Seth Rollins or fucking Roman Reigns or something. You're going to come back for some bullshit tag team match. I mean, come on. Because Shawn looks like he's in good enough shape to come back next week. If they wanted him on TV next week, he could do it. He looks like he could physically come back next week. That's how good a shape he's been keeping himself in. So, I don't know. Dolph versus Shawn, it'd be a good match. Personally, I'd rather see Shawn in maybe another match, but I don't know. Most of my matches, I think, of people coming back for are NXT matches. I'd rather see guys come to NXT and face, the younger guys. They need the rub more than them. Shawn versus, I know Shawn and Johnny Gargano are really good friends, so that'd be an interesting program. Shawn versus Adam Cole. So I think the company looks at Adam Cole and they see Shawn Michaels. So you have that. And I know Shawn's a teacher in NXT, or he's a trainer in NXT. So, so what happened after that? Sasha, you're gonna need help me out on this. So who won? All right. Okay. So I know they're setting up Bray Wyatt versus Finn, and it's gonna be the Fiend gimmick. And Finn's not going to have his demon gimmicks, which I guess, because supposedly they're going to give Finn some time off. Because I think he just got married or he's about to get married, so they want to give him some time off. So if you're going to bring back the demon, you're going to want to bring it back for something big. So I'm assuming Survivor Series, Finn versus the demon Finn versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt at Survivor Series. That wouldn't be bad. That'd be interesting. Or they might just want to go the full Monty and just have Matt Mania, the Fiend versus the Demon, or maybe at TLC. I don't know. TLC sounds like more ideal, because that way you can let these guys go loose. Somebody pitched the idea of having Bray Wyatt versus Aleister Black at Mania. The Fiend versus the dark art guy. I don't know what Aleister Black's gimmick is supposed to be, but it's interesting to see Bray back. All right, Ember versus Charlotte. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. happened after the Miz TV segment. Ember won and attacked Charlotte and Bayley after the win. Okay, so it's going to be Ember versus Bayley. Which, again, finally a better matchup for Bayley because you have somebody, who can work. And I like Ember. I'm not crazy about her gimmick, but I like her. And supposedly she's a heel, which I didn't see how she was a heel. Because, yeah, she attacked Bayley, and Bayley's supposed to be the face, but when has that ever really made anyone a heel to attack a face? I don't know. Supposedly they announced Charlotte versus Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. I literally saw someone post that. Hold on. Charlotte versus Trish. Yep, it's on here. WrestlingNews.co. And I'm seeing it on all these sites. Trish Stratus wrestled Charlotte at SummerSlam. Our good old buddy Ryan Satin. I guess it's official. This also marks Stratus' return to the ring in her hometown in her match since last October at the Evolution event. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be Trish versus Charlotte. I guess because they want to make SummerSlam big, it's going to be in Toronto. Wow, it's... Again, I didn't see that coming because I didn't even hear murmurs about it. But then again, I fell asleep during Smackdown. So, I know the main event was it was Kevin Owens versus Roman, and then Drew McIntyre was a special referee. Elias was the guest the guest bell ringer or something, and then Shane was the ring announcer. So that's how that went. Again, I'm hoping for Shane to just slowly be phased out as quickly as possible. I don't want to see this anymore. You want to see fresh new matchups. You just that's just me. So far it's SummerSlam, which is August 11th. You got Brock versus Seth for the Universal Championship. You got Becky Lynch versus Natalya for the Raw Women's Championship. SmackDown Women's Championship, you have Bayley versus Ember Moon. Singles match, if Owens loses, he's forced to quit the WWE. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. We forgot about that. Finn Balor versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt. And then Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus. So yeah, Randy Orton and Kofi. I forgot that it was even going to be Kofi and Randy. Because, last week, Randy pinned Kofi in a match. So yeah, Kofi comes out and then announces Randy as his opponent. They have an interesting back and forth. Kofi tells Randy, I haven't forgot about what you tried to do to me. I was getting over, and then you used your pull to make sure that didn't happen. And then you think Randy... I honestly thought Randy was going to go into a different direction. I thought he was going to be like, I didn't use my pull, to stop your push. You did that to yourself because you suck. Or not say you suck, but just more like, you did that to yourself because you weren't ready. But no, he turns around and says, you're damn right I used my pull because you weren't ready. And you're still not ready. He had an interesting, take on it, like, I didn't really need, to love the wrestling business. I just need to be Randy Orton. I just need to look like me. I need to be 6 feet tall. I didn't need to have a fake Jamaican accent, which that was kind of funny. Or shake my ass or eat pancakes. I just need to be Randy Orton. So this feud is interesting because now Kofi has a guy who they haven't tried to fuck with. Because if you look at Kofi's, feuds, post being champion, he's had Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens they've been fucking with. And I love Kevin Owens, but they've been fucking with him. You have Dolph, who hasn't been over since 2013. Ever since he's cashed in that Money in the Bank, the night after Raw, or the Raw after Mania in 2013, he has not been over. They've been trying to fuck with him. You have Samoa Joe, who they fuck with him, and then he does it to himself. Now you have Randy Orton, who not only have they been trying to fuck with him, they have a history together. They have a legit history together. So it makes for an interesting feud. It also makes me wonder, is Kofi actually going to win this match? I get the feeling that Randy's going to win it because you have, the deal with Fox coming up in October. Fox is going to want, the WWE Championship to be on someone a little bit more legit, that actually looks like a legit star. And I love Kofi, but Kofi he doesn't look like a star. Kofi looks like somebody that, if you saw at an airport, you just think that's just a regular guy. That's a guy who's in very good shape. I assume he's a gym trainer. I assume he's maybe an athlete of some kind. Maybe he plays basketball, or maybe he's just a regular guy. You see Randy Orton, who's 6 feet tall, who's in shape, he has all these tats, and you go, that's somebody. He looks like somebody. He looks like a movie star. He looks like a weightlifter. He looks like an athlete of some kind. And Randy's not exactly my first choice to put the belt on, because the whole talk about Randy is that he doesn't want to be there. He has zero interest in wrestling for the WWE. Like, when he actually wants to try, he'll try. It seems like he wants to try for this. If they're going to put the belt on him for one last time, because Randy's not getting any younger. He's pushing 40. I know he's going to be 39 at the end of the year. If they're going to put one last run on him, he's going to want to try. So, my whole thing is, I'm thinking there's no way in hell that Kofi's keeping that belt. If they're going to put the title on somebody, they're going to give it to Randy. And, another fact about it was, Randy's first ever, championship was in Toronto at SummerSlam 15 years ago against He Who Shall Not Be Named. That's going to be interesting if they try and point that out, that, Randy would be like, I won my first title at SummerSlam 15 years ago in this building. But they're obviously not going to mention Chris Benoit. So it's interesting. It makes for an interesting feud, an interesting match. Again, I think if Kofi wins, I'm convinced they're trying to make him into Super Kofi. They're going to try and push him in a way that he shouldn't be pushed. I get how they were trying to push Roman as, Super Roman, because Roman's a big guy. Cena's a big guy. Braun's a big guy. Kofi is not a big guy. So if they try to push him as Super Kofi, the fans are going to turn on him really quick. I can already tell you that much. Again, I'm almost convinced Randy's going to win, or there's going to maybe some fuckery afoot, which you do not want to do that in front of a Toronto crowd. I will tell you that much. The fans will turn on you for fucking with this match. You got to let somebody win. Or maybe Kofi can win with a schoolboy. I don't know. But I'm convinced that Randy's going to win. So yeah, that's the SmackDown side of things. How long have we been recording? No. Alright, so we're almost at an hour, so that's pretty good. Making for a good convo. This last bit of news before we head on out. I don't know if I want to talk. Well, that's not really much to talk about. Oh, thank you too, Sasha Baron Corbin. Not done just yet. I'll probably be quick about this. San Diego Comic-Con happened over the weekend. Most notably, any Marvel fans on here? At Hall H, they revealed, their next phase, which is Phase 4. Beginning Phase 4 will be the... well, actually, they just revealed... I'm just going to go in order for their panels that came out. The Eternals, starring Richard Madden. Any Game of Thrones fans, that was the first Stark that was killed. It'll be Icarus, Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo. He's in that movie with Batista, that stupid movie. Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, Leah McHugh, Don Lee, Angelina Jolie is now a part of the Marvel Universe. That'll come out November 6, 2020. They've already started production, or pre-production, building sets and everything. I don't know anything about Eternals, so I can't really speak on it, because I know bupkis about it, so I can't really speak on it too much. Knowing Marvel, they'll push it to become, the biggest thing ever. That's what they did with Guardians, so who knows. Next up was the first show coming exclusively to Disney Plus, which that comes out November. Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Anthony Mackie will be returning as the Falcon, and Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier. Came on the stage to greet the fans, and it was revealed that Daniel Bruhl will return as the villain, Baron Zemo. If anyone saw Civil War, he was the villain in Civil Wars, and he will be Baron Zemo from the comics. The Winter Soldier will come out in fall of 2020. So the shows for Disney Plus won't come out until 2020. But, Disney Plus, Disney owns the rights to more of the movies, Star Wars, and of course they're going to have their big-ass library. So if you love Marvel, you're going, they have every single movie on there. You can watch their movies before the shows come out. If you like Star Wars, you can watch all the Star Wars movies on there. And now they bought Fox, they, bought some more Star Wars stuff back from Fox. And if you're just a Disney fan in general, they literally are going to have every single Disney movie that's ever been invented on that fucking app. So I'm buying it when it comes out. I'm getting rid of Netflix, by the way. This is another new movie is coming out, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, starring Simu Liu in the title role. Appearing alongside Liu will be Awkwafina in an undisclosed role, and Tony Leung as the real Mandarin. If you remember in Iron Man 3, the fake Mandarin was played by what's his fucking name? He played Gandhi in a movie. I'm forgetting his fucking name. Ben Kingsley. There you go. The movie will come out February the 12th, 2021. This is basically, they promised Phase 4, post Endgame, we're going to be seeing a different look at Marvel, which it looks very different. Their first, Asian American superhero. So interesting. Another Disney Plus show, WandaVision, an original series starring Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, reprising their MC roles as Wanda Maximoff and Scarlet Witch. In Vision, co-starring them is Tiana Paris, who Feige revealed will be playing the adult Monica Rambeau, who was introduced as a child in Marvel Studios' Captain Marvel. WandaVision will start in spring 2021. Again, interesting premise. I'll watch anything Elizabeth Olsen is in. I'll just put it to you that way. The MCU's favorite trickster Loki will also make his way to Disney Plus. Marvel Studios' Loki, an original series starring Tom Hiddleston, will see the god of mischief causing more trouble starting in the spring of 2021. Aren't they already, I thought they already started production on that, because I know there was, a behind-the-scenes photo where he's, going back in time and seeing the original Jaws, in the 70s or something. I don't know. Alright, and the sequel to Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange, with Scott Derrickson returning as a director. Joining Doctor Strange this time around will be the Scarlet Witch, played by Elizabeth Olsen. And another twist, the events of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness will connect with the Disney Plus series, Marvel Studios' WandaVision. That will hit theaters May 7th, 2021. So they're announcing that there is officially a multiverse, because they hinted at it in the first Doctor Strange, where there was a multiverse. And then they talked about it in Far From Home, which, spoilers if anyone hasn't seen Far From Home, the character Mysterio is not from the multiverse. They lied about it. But now Doctor Strange has officially announced that there's a multiverse. So I'm interested to see where that goes. And that's supposedly going to be Marvel's first horror movie. Scott Derrickson has a history of horror movies. He directed the Emily Rose movie, The Haunting of Emily Rose, or The Case of Emily Rose, and then Sinister. Good movies. Second Sinister was not good. First Sinister was very good. The legacy of the What If comics will be adapted for the screen. Marvel's What If The first animated series in the MCU will star Jeffrey Wright as the voice of the Watcher. Many actors from across the MCU will reprise their roles as voice talent. What If will represent alternate realities in the Marvel Universe that are set to warp your world in the summer of 2021, exclusively on Disney+. That one I'm interested in. The What If series I read were What If Deadpool Killed the Marvel Universe. That's something I hope they make a animated feature on. I doubt they're going to do it on this, but that's something I've always wanted to see. And then What If Punisher Killed the Marvel Universe. I doubt they're going to do those, but I'm interested in this. I know the first one that they have so far is What If Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers. Because Haley Atwell, she's coming back. Chris Evans, RDJ, they're not coming back. RDJ's trying to distance himself from Marvel, which that's kind of fucked up, but whatever. Chris Evans is, trying to focus more on outside of Marvel, which it'd be nice if he came back for this, but whatever. And then other stuff, because I saw Michael B. Jordan was on there. So, what if they go with what if, Killmonger was really Black Panther? What if Killmonger stayed as the king of Wakanda? It's Marvel. They'll have some good ideas. Another character from the MCU will appear on the small screen, Marvel Studios' Hawkeye, starring Jeremy Renner, who joined Kevin Feige on stage to share more details about the show, which will introduce Kate Bishop, who has been hitting her mark in Marvel Comics. It will come to Disney Plus in fall of 2021. I think a lot of people were under the assumption that the chick from 13 Reasons Why, because she was cast in Endgame, but they cut out her scene. She ended up playing Tony Stark's daughter. A lot of people thought that she was going to be Kate Bishop, but now they're wrong. They haven't they haven't revealed who Kate Bishop was. They didn't reveal it at Comic-Con. So they'll reveal that maybe sometime next year at the next Comic-Con. So yeah, the big news coming out of Comic-Con was it was also revealed someone from Thor's history or Thor's story returning to the MCU. Natalie Portman returned from Marvel Studios' Thor: Love and Thunder, joining stars Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. Taika Waititi returns as a director and confirmed that Jane Foster will become the mighty Thor, Goddess of Thunder. It will hit theaters on November 5th, 2021. I remember he actually announced on my birthday. That was actually announced on my birthday last week that Taika Waititi, I hope I'm saying his name right, was going to come back to, not only write, but also direct the next Thor movie. So this actually makes Thor the only Marvel hero that's getting his fourth movie. Because, Iron Man had 3, Captain America had 3. Spider-Man will surpass it. But currently Thor has 4. And, Chris Hemsworth has said to, sign on to play Thor longer. Which, good for him. Stay on. He obviously loves playing Thor. And his other movies suck. Chris Hemsworth he's a good actor. He's very charismatic and charming. But it seems like anytime any other directors or writers get their hands on him, they don't know what to do with him. It just seems like Marvel is the only thing that knows what to do with Chris Hemsworth. Other studios try to make him something he's not. Like the Men in Black movie. They just made him a dick. They didn't try to make him charismatic and charming. They just try to make him a dick. And a stupid dick. And that didn't work for him. Other big news, it looks like we're going to find out a lot more about Natasha Romanoff. Marvel Studios' Black Widow starring Scarlett Johansson, reprising her MCU role. She'll be joined by David Harbour as Alexei, aka the Red Guardian. David Harbour, Copper. And in Stranger Things. Florence Pugh as Yelena. Florence Pugh, she played Paige in the Paige movie, and she was also in a movie called Midsummer, which I've been dying to fucking see. O.T. Fagbeno as Mason, I don't know who that is. Rachel Weisz, which I'm interested as Melina. Kate Shortland will be directing. The movie will be the first movie for Marvel's Phase 4, May 1st, 2020. Now, they showed footage of some of, the movie, and it's being compared to Winter Soldier, which Winter Soldier, of all the Marvel movies, is my favorite. So if this is anything like Winter Soldier, you already have my money. It's Marvel. Marvel's going to have my money regardless, but if this is anything like Winter Soldier, you have my fucking money. I want to see this already. May 1st, 2020. And at the end of that segment, that was the last panel. Kevin Feige, pretty much said, I didn't have enough time to talk about anything else. He announced Fantastic Four and the X-Men are in development. Because that's going to be in Phase 5. He already announced Phase 4. Phase 4 is only going to be for about 2 years, 2020 and 2021. Supposedly Phase 5 is going to be a little bit long. The X-Men and Fantastic Four are going to be the forefront of it. He said Captain Marvel 2 is in development, Black Panther 2 is in development, and then Guardians 3 is in development. Then he brings up Mahershala Ali, who, two-time Oscar winner. He was in Into the Spider-Verse, played Uncle Aaron, the Prowler. He was also in Season 1 of Luke Cage. Brings him out, and, he puts on a hat that says Blade. So now Mahershala Ali will be Blade. It's not going to be in Phase 4, it'll be in Phase 5. Which, that was completely out of left field, because I remember they did that with Brie Larson, where they brought her out and announced her as Captain Marvel. So, Mahershala Ali as Blade is huge, because there weren't even talks that they were going to make that into a movie again. It was more like they were going to make it into a show. So I remember, I think last month, it was announced that, they were going to make a Blade show for Hulu, which, okay, that was cool. Now they're going to make it a movie. Because Kevin Feige, talked about, that Marvel wants to go to a different direction post-Endgame. Because they've already done, space stuff, cosmic storylines. They want to focus on, more grounded storylines and something different. And, you talked about going to the more horror aspects of Marvel. Which, going back to what I said earlier about Doctor Strange 2, it's supposedly going to be Marvel's first horror movie. Which, I'm interested in that. Now, yeah, Blade, who... that's a horror character. That's a character that needs to be rated R. That's a character that cannot be PG-13. I'm not saying make it rated R and have, titties or, have him pull out his dick and kill vampires with it. No. He needs to be rated R. He needs to be violent. He needs to be bloodthirsty. He needs to be fucking nuts. He needs to be fucking Blade. You need to make him, PG-13. Or not PG-13. You make him rated R. And, we talked about this on the show a very long time ago with my former co-host. Disney has done rated R movies before. They just haven't released it under the Disney banner. So, Marvel Studios can make this rated R. They would just need to release it under a different banner. Now if they have Fox, they can release it as a Fox movie, or they can release it under Paramount. That, again, that would be very interesting. Blade needs to be rated R. That's all I gotta say. You need to make Blade rated R. You have a great actor in it. The talk is that Kevin Feige revealed that the guy literally called him and said, "Can I play Blade?" He said, "Yeah, sure." And that's what fucking happened. That's what it takes to get roles nowadays. You just call and say, "Can I just play this role?" "Yeah, sure." And that's what happened with the actor who's playing Shang-Chi. He literally just put on Twitter, "Hey, can I play the role?" And Marvel Studios announced him as Shang-Chi. He's like, "Okay, cool." Again, that's awesome. May 1st, 2020, again, we're so used to getting Marvel films, so many out of the year. Again, Marvel wants to give you a break, because Endgame was huge. The new, if you guys have been living under a rock, it surpassed Avatar finally as the highest grossing film of all time. It was huge. It took a lot out of us. Far From Home, was huge. It took a lot out of us. It's already about to pass the $1 billion mark. So now we got to wait until May of 2020, May 1st, 2020, to get that Marvel, fix again. Black Widow should be huge. Eternals, I don't know anything about it, but I'm pretty sure that'll be big. And then, the other films coming after that, like Thor, Shang-Chi, and then Doctor Strange, those should be huge. The Disney Plus shows should be huge. Again, Marvel just knows how to distribute, they know how to make good shows. Not just Marvel, Disney. Disney deserves some credit too. And a lot of people, it sounds like I'm, blowing Marvel, which I kind of am. But I like what I like. I wouldn't come on here and talk about the things that I don't like. I'm not going to waste an hour talking about things that I don't like. I'll just make it short and sweet, and then I'll talk about the things that I actually do like. I know I was just ranting about how bad wrestling is, but I just don't like being negative. You know what I mean? I know that kind of makes me, soft, and it just seems like I'm being nice. Believe me, I can go hard when I want to. But, to me it seems like a waste of time to just talk about things I don't like. You know what I mean? I just like to make it short and sweet. I like to talk about how things I like could get better, if that makes sense. There's a difference between criticizing something and then talking about how it could be better. Like when I was saying that it seems like there's no stars in the business, but here's how I think stars could be stars, but here's how I think that's not happening because I think Vince is scared to make big stars. That's different. I don't know, that's just how I like to do things. I don't like to be negative all the time. Not that I'm taking shots at anyone. I'm not. I'm not. If I really want to take shots at somebody, I would, but I don't, because that's not my style. I don't like to start wars. I don't like to start shit with anyone. I'm a pacifist. I'm a pacifist. I don't like to start shit with anyone. People are entitled to their opinion, but that's just me. That's pretty much it. That's all my news for the show. Thank you, Sasha, for being a part of the show. Anyone who did listen to the show, thank you. As you know, I'll be on Discord every Wednesday, live for the show. I'm always on Spreaker. Spreaker is my home base. You can listen to the show on Spreaker. Thanks, Sasha. Appreciate it. You're awesome too. Again, Spreaker, Google Play, iTunes, pretty much everywhere podcasts are found. You can also find me on YouTube. Twitter, Drew Yari Show. Facebook, Drew Yari Show. I have an Instagram. I don't really post anything show-related on there. I just post random shit. Shout-outs, Wrestling Soup, John Draper, Mish, and Joey. Make sure you head on to the Patreon. For just $5, you get everything. Don, Tony, Kevin Castle Show. Same thing, $5, you get everything. You can also get, Kevin's two shows, the Castle Chronicles and the Dark Chronicles, which has our friend Trez on the show. Shout out to Trez. Hope you're feeling better. And then you got the Texas Podcast Massacre. If you're into horror, listen to that show. They're good dudes. I was on that show twice. Then you have the Trademark Show with Tyler. Tyler's another good friend of the show. Shout out to Tyler. You can find his show on Spreaker. Julian from the Wrestling Court, you can find him, I think I listen to him on Spotify, so you can find him on Spotify. And I think he's live every Thursday for the Soup. I'm hearing a lot of barking outside. Then you got the Peter Position with my friend Peter. I was on that show. You can find him on Spotify too, I believe. And then you can find him on Podbean. B-Show Brian. I don't think he's having a show anymore, because he's had his last show on Spreaker. I think he's going to do like a horror-related podcast. I'm not 100% sure, but you can find him on YouTube. Hit him up. I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel. It's pretty good. I'm a big horror nerd like him. Am I forgetting somebody? Oh yeah, the Architalk podcast with Derek and Irving. You can find them anywhere. You can find them pretty much for podcasts or put-outs. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, I will see you guys next week. Same time, same schedule. Hopefully we can get Trez back on. And I will upload and edit. I will edit and upload this show to Spreaker. Again, show some love on Spreaker. Give me a follow. And that's about it. Oh yeah, episode 100. Forgot about that. Episode 100 will be September 18th. I just remembered because episode 99 will be 9/11. Like, crazy. But yeah, episode 100 of this show will be September 18th. So, if there's any questions you want to ask me, or if you just want to be part of the live show on that night, I don't know, just send me a question on Twitter, DM me on Twitter, or you can email me at the show's email, which is thedrewyaryshow@gmail.com. The show's name at gmail.com, so if you have any questions you want to ask me personally that you don't want anyone else to see, send me an email. I started that email for the show, and I don't even think I ever got one email. But, or I think I did get an email, but it was for something else. Like, do you want to get car insurance? It was just like, why would I want to get car insurance for a show? Which I have car insurance. Yeah, send me that. And, again, episode 100, September 18th. Tell your friends. Tell your friend, then they can tell a friend, then they can tell a friend. Let's get this chat room. Let's make this chat room fat. Let's get it to wrestling soup numbers. I want to take those fuckers down. I want to take those fuckers down. Let's take them down, guys. But yeah, anyways, yeah. See you guys next week, and peace.